Joining me now, Hector Sanchez, chairman of the National Hispanic Leadership Agenda. He's also, I think you're president there. Javier Palomares, he's CEO and president of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We've got Fox News contributor Mercedes Schlapp. First to you, Mr. Palomares, what did you make of the speech?
Well, you know, a lot of conversation, a lot of talk. I think in the final analysis, it was nothing more than a publicity stunt. I don't think it's going to move the needle in any real fashion for Donald Trump. The reality of it is the people that he needs to convince are right here in America. The last time I looked, people in Mexico don't elect the American president.
Hector, what did you make of the remarks?
Yeah, I agree with Javier. It's a publicity stunt. He went basically to Mexico to say what he has been saying in the United States for 1 year, that he's going to build a wall that is going to cost a lot of money for the U.S. taxpayer, that he's going to continue deporting people. I don't know what was the purpose of this trip. What we want to hear here in the U.S. and Latino voters is what are the real proposals. And we are a business show, so let me tell you what we want to see, because his proposal doesn't make economic sense. We know that immigration reform in the CPB already reported will bring benefits for the economy. We need immigration reform. It will represent $1.5 trillion within the next 20 years. We know that immigration reform is good for Social Security, is good for the tax base, is good for workers in general. That's the kind of messaging and the kind of solutions, the kind of discussion that we need to have.
All right. However, Mercedes, there is illegality at the border. You have to have, any nation has a right to have a secure border. We do have problems at the border. We have a lot of crime at the border. Mr. Trump did not back down, noting about the problems with drug cartels and gun running across the border. A lot of money, taxpayer money, goes to fighting those problems. What did you make of his remarks?
Well, and I just want to say that even for the immigrants that are trying to come over, crossing the border illegally, it's actually a very dangerous route to take. Many of these immigrants have died trying to come over, crossing the border, and that's something that we barely hear. So let's talk about, how do we get legal immigration? How do we get individuals who want to come to America in the process legally? And I think that that is something that for Donald Trump is an incredible opportunity. Absolutely. Do we need to secure the border? Yes. Actually, even Hillary Clinton supported the Secure Fence Act. And now all of a sudden she's become the open borders amnesty candidate. But for Donald Trump, it is about, and for the American people, it is about securing the border, but ensuring that we can have a legal process, an immigration system that is fixed. Because one of the biggest problems that we have are immigrants who come into this nation, overstay their visas, and then just stay. And so I think that the key is how do you fix those problems? And I think you have a solution, so someone who can fix these problems, create these solutions through Donald Trump, not through what we're going to see of an expansion of an executive order like Hillary Clinton will push for.
Javier, Hispanic leaders have come on here in Fox Business and Fox News and other networks saying, listen, we are for a secure border. We're for legal immigration. Don't you think Donald Trump's message here will basically, the broader electorate could say, you know what, you're right. Hispanics, too, agree that they don't like the illegality. They don't like the crime.
You know, the reality is everybody understands that the immigration system is broken in the United States. We all are in unison, in agreement here. But you don't fix these types of problems that took decades to get to by denouncing an entire nation.
He didn't denounce. Wait, hang on, back up. He didn't denounce an entire nation. He was pointing out individuals who commit crime.
Yeah.
He misspoke, but he's not denouncing an entire nation.
Donald Trump began his career denouncing the Mexican people.
He didn't denounce the
country of Mexico.
Mercedes,
he doubled down.
Hang on, Mercedes, go ahead.
Javier, let's be real here. You're a Hillary Clinton supporter, so let's just start from there, okay? So we're going to start it from there. I have great respect from you, but here, let's be real, okay? Let's have this open discussion. And so I think for Donald Trump, it's the opportunity, to basically say you went with Hillary Clinton, where she adamantly opposed illegal immigration. Now all of a sudden she shifted her policy, flip-flopped on it completely. I think for Donald Trump, it's an opportunity where he has been reaching out to Hispanics and ensuring that he can find the solutions that are better for the Hispanic.
Now let's really be real. Hillary Clinton, for starters, has been reaching out to the Hispanic community for about 40 years, to get real, if you really want to go there. Donald Trump is about 40 years too late in engaging America's Hispanic community. Secondly, we are with Hillary Clinton. This is not about Hillary Clinton. We're talking about Donald Trump. But to be clear, Hillary Clinton and her campaign have been reaching out to American Hispanic businesses from the get-go. We have yet to hear from Donald Trump.
Mercedes, hang on 1 second. Hector, I want to bring you in on this. Donald Trump also said we need to improve NAFTA. Now, in the past, Hector, he said, you know what, we need to rescind NAFTA and get rid of it. Now he's saying we need to improve it. What did you make of that?
Yeah, let me clarify. When we were talking about border security in the nation,
hang on.
we have
I'm
never
about NAFTA.
invested.
No. We're moving on to NAFTA. I want you to comment on Mr. Trump saying we need to improve NAFTA, not get rid of it.
Yeah, let me talk about the policy priorities that we have in consensus as a coalition. And let me talk about some of the issues that are critical for our coalition and for the Latino community in the nation.
But I'm asking you about
border
NAFTA.
security has never been so high in the nation.
Please answer the question about NAFTA. What did you make of Donald Trump saying that he will now wants to improve NAFTA and not rescind it?
Well, it's another example of what we have seen from Trump, a constant continuation of changing in positions, in policies. Let me tell you that as a community, we are very worried on the impact that his rhetoric has in our community. Hate crimes against Latinos keep increasing because of he is attacking Mexicans, he's attacking Latinos, he's attacking immigrants.
All right.
His
Can we go back to
positions.
NAFTA
Mercedes, final word, quickly, final
I just
word.
want to say on NAFTA, here's the deal. You know that many of these Mexican workers have suffered. They've had horrible working conditions because of NAFTA, because they never covered environmental provisions or labor provisions for Mexican workers. So here's the deal. It is time to renegotiate NAFTA. Guess who promised that? Obama. Guess what didn't happen? Under Obama, they have not renegotiated NAFTA. It is time after 22 years.
And no immigration reform. Okay, we have to leave it there. I'm sorry we're out of time, gentlemen, and Mercedes. Appreciate your thoughts right there. We are awaiting Donald Trump's high-stakes policy speech on immigration. He will deliver it just a few hours from now in Arizona. Fox Business will bring that to you live. The speech follows Trump's surprise meeting with the Mexican president earlier today. And after weeks of speculation and mixed messages from the candidate about whether or not his hardline positions were softening, his campaign manager has said that Mr. Trump was heavily involved in the drafting of the speech, and expectations are high. Mr. Trump reportedly needs to capture as much as 35% of the Hispanic vote to win the White House. He's currently polling at about 20% with Hispanic voters. By way of comparison, Mitt Romney had captured 27% of the Hispanic vote in 2012. So what does Mr. Trump need to say to bring those numbers up without basically looking like he's flip-flopping? Joining me now, political analyst Gina Loudon, and back with me, National Hispanic Leadership Agenda, Hector Sanchez, and U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce President Javier Palomares. Javier, what does he have to do?
Well, you know, I think he's a bit damned if he does, a bit damned if he doesn't. He started his campaign with certain rhetoric. I think his base expects him to continue down that path to a large extent. On the other hand, I think he's come to the realization that most have to, that you're going to have to win a certain percentage of the Hispanic vote. I met with Donald almost a year ago today. It was September the 1st of last year. And I cautioned him that, look, in my opinion, you need about 47% of the Hispanic vote to get there. I think I see him becoming aware of the fact that he's going to have to go there. But again, he's kind of damned if he doesn't, damned if he does. The Hispanic vote is not going to go his way unless he begins to soften to some extent and begin to deal with the reality. But you found that he was
doubling down on his rhetoric,
Well,
right?
I think that since I met with him a year ago, Liz, what we've seen is him continually berating this nation and immigrants and others. And so now I think he's come to the harsh reality with good counsel around him that, listen, you're going to have to back some of that stuff down.
It might be too late, though, Gina. What do you think? I mean, Mr. Trump, listen, we're just about 70 days from the election. It's really tough to reverse course in this short of a time, right?
Well, I don't think that he needs to. I think that he's remained strong on his message, that nothing he's said has been backing off of anything that he's said before. I think, again, Mr. Trump has a record of action. He understands that if a country like Mexico prospers and becomes more stable, that only works to benefit the United States of America. Where Hillary and Obama consistently talk about division, Liz, and talk with their words, Mr. Trump takes action, like he did in Louisiana, where the president and Hillary did not, like he has in Mexico, where the president and Hillary have not. And even when you look at things like the problems in Chicago and how the president doesn't even bother to go there. These are the kinds of things that Mr. Trump is going to do because he's a man of action, not just words.
Hector, Mr. Trump made mistakes. He misspoke. And we were talking about in the first block, you know, calling all Mexicans rapists. I mean, he seemed to be painting the entire country wrongfully. You know, his supporters say, wait a second, he was talking about criminals that are coming in. And so can he reverse course here, Hector? Can he make up lost ground with the Hispanic vote?
the negative impact that he has had in the Latino and immigrant community is irreversible. 1 year of constant attacks in our community, it really has an impact. Probably today in the speech, we're going to see a continuation of those policies. He says something in Mexico today that really shows that probably he's going to continue focusing on the border and deportations, continuing in building the wall and deportations. That's not the kind of policy that doesn't make sense in the nation. And we can, as the polls show that, no serious analysis, no serious politician really reflect those kind of ideas. But the important question over here is the Latino vote is the key to the White House in November. And it's very important to come to the table with real policy solutions on immigration, a path to citizenship like we had in the Senate, the bipartisan Senate. We need a solution on a number of the different spaces. Entire sectors of the economy depend on undocumented workers in the nation. 11 million undocumented workers in the most powerful of a nation in the world is not a mistake. It's public policy. So we need to make sure that we integrate these workers into our society, that there is a path, that there is a line. Right now, there is not a line. When they talk about the line, where is the line? There is no clear understanding on the immigration policies and the issues. So we look forward to see real solutions. We're going to reveal a border guide in 2 weeks. We received responses from the Clinton campaign. We're expecting Trump to respond. He hasn't engaged with the coalition at all. So we just want to have the best information for Latino voters to take the best decisions in November.
Right. We have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time, all three of you. Now you can catch Donald Trump's immigration speech right here live on Fox Business. Our special coverage starts tonight at 7 p.m. Do not miss it. And coming up, the latest Fox News poll is out. Donald Trump is gaining on Hillary Clinton. We've got the breakdown for you next. Don't go away.